As a teacher, we used to get the Van de Graaff generator out, the one that makes all your hair stand on end.
Yeah.
And it'd look like magic as well. I'd have to take all my rings and everything off and stand in a plastic tray to earth myself. And then you'd kind of have to pluck up the courage as well in the classroom to put your hands on the big Van de Graaff generator, and then you'd use like the little ball of it and it'd like generate lightning, which you're like Thor off the Avengers creating your own lightning. I used to teach like Avengers physics. So I used to touch that.
Hi there, welcome to the new episode of Quite Packish podcast. And because I'm a father, I was looking for ways how to teach my daughter interesting things, and I found AmazeLab. Thank you for coming here, Leonie Briggs.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you.
After I found out about AmazeLab, I found a lot of things about you.
I hope they're all good.
Yes. The biggest one, which I think it was lately, you are being awarded for the 100 most influencer female entrepreneur. That's amazing.
Thank you so much. That was such a great honour, and really I was just so proud to bring that back to Barnsley in a way. So yeah, in January, Small Business Britain announced it's called Fee Entrepreneur. And it is a list of what they class as the top 100 female entrepreneurs in the UK. And I was quite gobsmacked, to be honest, to be on that list. But I think the thing that I found most inspiring about it, one was how proud my own daughter was of me. I absolutely loved that. I've got a son and a daughter, but Alex, my daughter's going to be 12 in July. And she was so proud that her mummy was on this list, and that was absolutely amazing and completely made everything worthwhile. And then the fact that we don't think anybody else from Barnsley has been included on this list. So what a great honour for the first person from Barnsley to be on there. And the way that Barnsley got behind me, I just loved it. And again, it was such a privilege. So everybody from Barnsley just seemed to be so excited, so supportive, like, yeah, one of our own kind of thing had been named. So I got invited to Westminster for International Women's Day back in March. So I did feel a bit of the weight of Barnsley on my shoulders. I felt that I was representing Barnsley, South Yorkshire, and I was so passionate about doing us proud. So I made sure that I was championing other Barnsley-based female entrepreneurs. So it really did feel that Barnsley came with me to this event in Westminster. And again, they were so supportive of it. So I had an outfit made by Gillies, who is based in Hoyland Common, and it was in her vision. I said that I was going to this event, so she tailor-made me an outfit to wear, even from my eyebrows to my hair to my jewellery to my nails. Everything was from a fellow female Barnsley entrepreneur. So I went dressed head to toe in Barnsley to represent us. So yeah, I was very, very proud that I was selected and that I got to represent Barnsley really at that event.
Yeah, that's nice. I'm not born here in Barnsley, but I'm very proud. Even I saw an article about two guys who they received two BAFTA awards.
Oh,
BAFTA
yes.
awards for a game.
Yes, I saw that. And I was like, honestly, Barnsley's on them back. We do brilliant things in Barnsley. More people need to know about it. We need to make sure we're shouting about it.
And the way they make the game, it was, oh my gosh. I feel like I'm in Barnsley, even I wasn't born here. But you see, I mean, it's exaggerated the game, but it's funny though. I think that's why the game received those BAFTA awards.
Yeah.
I don't know if you see the game.
I saw it. I've never played it, but I did see it because I recognised as well that it was, again, local people representing our area. I mean, Barnsley has accepted me. I'm originally from Sheffield, so I did nip over the border. But yeah, rest assured, folks of Barnsley, I have lived here at least, it's absolutely years now. I think it must be about 18 to 20 years that I've been just over the border in Barnsley, so it's firmly home now.
Yeah, 9. With this idea of AmazeLab.
So AmazeLab started from my dining room table in Barnsley. So during lockdown, I was working as a secondary school teacher, science teacher. Chemistry is my specialism. So it's a bit like being a wizard. Things go whiz bang pop and change colour, and that's what I love about chemistry. It's one of the many wonderful things it achieves. So I was so passionate that young people would not miss out on practical science skills. And obviously we needed to be, but obviously we were all caught up in our houses, and I was living with 2 small children and trying to educate hundreds of other children. So I thought, what can I do? But it needed to be safe, cost effective and readily available. So I started raiding the cupboards of my kitchen, the pantry, the garage, and I started writing experiments that we could do. I completely destroyed my dining room table. It was honestly, speak to my husband, you should have seen the state of it from doing science experiments of it. It was ruined. We honestly had to buy a new dining room table. It was covered in stuff. So we developed this backdrop, like saying this dining room in Barnsley, and I started broadcasting to the nation. And it honestly snowballed from there. So the next thing I knew, I was asked to do like a national science lesson. So I was approached by a big organisation to say, we're looking for somebody to write and deliver a workshop, and we want you to teach it to the nation as their science lesson, which was quite a weird thing, because as a teacher, I really didn't enjoy being observed. I used to find it absolutely terrifying when somebody came in with a clipboard, kind of judging your lesson. And the next thing I knew, I was being nominated for and then volunteering to deliver a science lesson to the nation. And I have many times in my life where it feels like such a good idea at the time, and then you realise you have to actually do it. You need to stand there and you are live to the nation teaching them science. So I developed the experiment called Exploding Rainbows, and I wanted it to be, again, safe, really effective, really, really fun, messy how science is, and I wanted it to link to COVID times and the rainbow. That was part of my, remit of what they wanted me to do. So we wrote the Exploding Rainbows experiment, and off we went to the nation, and we delivered this lesson, again, destroying my dining room table more and more as we went. My husband, I don't know whether he was a bit embarrassed or thought, you can't send that out. My husband's a graphic designer. So I was there trying to make these fact sheets and activity packs. And because it was lockdown and COVID, David, my husband, ended up being put on furlough, because in the design studio, a lot of their clients had closed, so they just didn't need the design work. So David very, very kindly came on board and started helping me with the PowerPoints, the activity packs, the fact sheets. So then we had, an absolutely amazing graphic designer on board at AmazeLab. And we realised that actually within our household, we'd got something really unique that we'd never tapped into before, that I could write and present and run the workshops, but David could do all the design. So that in-house, we could make activity packs and teach resources and fact sheets and everything that we needed for this business. So that is how AmazeLab came to be. So I'll be completely honest, it wasn't something that we'd set out to do. Lives dramatically changed. I tried to make something positive out of that, and AmazeLab will be 5 this year, officially in July. Obviously, I started it back in the March, doing different experiments every day, every week, every month. But yeah, we were officially established in July 2020.
Wow. It passed 3 years, yeah.
So we'll be 5 this year.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yes, our fifth birthday in July.
Fifth. What, are you going to do something special?
Yes, I've actually been, I'm hoping they'll involve some cake. And then, we've actually been approached. I worked with a film company. So the film company, again, I was very, very honoured. We were selected to be part of the National Archives to commemorate, really to document lockdown. So a film company came along and filmed our workshops and interviewed us, and we were actually part of a film. And then all of that footage has been stored in the National Archives about, what happened in, South Yorkshire, basically, during COVID and lockdown. So that same film company actually approached us earlier this year and said, we've seen that you're going to be turning 5. We'd love to make a bit of a documentary about it for you to keep. So, yes, we are going to be making a film all about AmazeLab turning 5.
Wow.
Just only
Congrats.
a little, couple of minutes. It's not going to be like a huge blockbuster.
Still, it's a great honor to be archives. I mean, you don't know who is going to see it in the future.
I thought, how weird would it be, like there might be some, young people in school in 100 years' time and they're going through the archives in our workshop. Will be there. It was a great honour. Really, really nice to be involved in those projects. We even had a project where we worked with a brilliant company called Compassion Sheffield, and Compassion Sheffield make talking about death and dying something that should be normalised, nobody should do. And we worked on an absolutely heartbreaking but wonderful project with them where we received some specialist training and we went into schools and we developed rainbow sun catchers. But at the same time, we were speaking to the young people and we were writing journals. And then we used all like the science, technology, engineering, arts and maths behind creating these rainbow sun catchers. And they then went into a big like exhibition at the Millennium Galleries in Sheffield. And that's what was also included in the National Archives. But to be selected for that project was... very, very special. And then it was actually quite weird a few years on then looking back at what we had done, because when you look back at photos, it was quite strange times to discuss. But yeah, that was all documented as well.
I remember one of my guests, she's from Corby. She told me, because she's Romanian, and there are plenty of Romanians in Corby, they got in the archive. I think it's some celebration which it's held every 20 years, something like that. And they're doing a movie. And they're going to show the movie to those people who is going to make another movie in 20 years.
Yes, yeah. Like a time capsule.
20 or 25, I don't remember exactly, but it was quite interesting. And they bring... the national traditional, the old way how to dress.
Oh, brilliant!
On that movie, and I said that's quite nice. I think it's going to people in the future they're going to be shocked. Why they have this kind of clothes here?
It is so nice, it's good to look back on traditions like that, though, isn't it? And see what people are doing. It is really, really interesting to look on back. The project we were working on was called Reflect on the Pandemic, and there was a premiere at the Showroom Cinema in Sheffield. I think it will be the first and last film premiere I've ever been invited to. And even though it was such tough times and such a sad topic, to all come together and help, in a way celebrate how people looked after one another was a very positive experience. Yes. It was really nice to see people again, even though obviously some of the stories were heartbreaking. It was really, really nice just to get people together in that room, and I think it helped everybody to talk about it.
I realize UK, even I know a lot of people die, but we had it easy.
Yeah.
In Romania, it was crazy. Basically, they've been checking you, the police on the street, where you are coming, where you are going.
Yeah. I know people had to have a pass, worked in a school or NHS.
That was horrible. I mean, and people, they've been angry.
Yeah.
And I felt, I stay here. I ordered takeaway. It was great. I can say it was great. Yeah. I was thinking, it's nice to be alone. But after lockdown, it was gone. I felt like definitely. We need people. Since I start to get more with the people, I grew even more.
Yeah.
I think you need to have like a low in your life to see what is missing, and basically
and to really appreciate the benefits. It's like the joy of going to school. Obviously, I know that's not a suitable setting for everybody, and everybody doesn't fit into certain ways of like mainstream school, and that's absolutely fine. But I think for a lot of those children, getting back and playing with their friends and seeing people. So it was really, really important. I can speak from my own experiences with my own children. I think I was quite lucky in a way that my children are relatively young. I can't imagine having lived with a couple of teenagers and them not being able to go out. I imagine that was quite a challenge.
Yeah. I was lucky. My daughter, she was too young to go to school. But I mean, it still affects the kids. because she didn't socialize with other kids.
Yeah, and they will have that there in entire life. I think it's something that we really need to bear in mind as these amazing young people grow up, the way that they dealt with it and the way that they helped support one another. My daughter and a friend used to send each other little presents and letters. I think they deserve so much praise, how they dealt with that and how they will be dealing with that as they go on through life as well. And I think we do always need to keep it at the back of our mind and remember what has happened in their lifetime.
Yes. Any other awards what you get or your company?
We have been so lucky at AmazeLab. It's been again, like really quite overwhelming, a bit of a shock in a way. We've won lots and lots of awards. We've been recently awarded like most innovative STEM company. We won STEM/STEAM workshops of the year. We were recognised by Theopathesis, who was one of the original dragons on Dragon's Den of his Small Business Sunday. I was nominated for the Global Teacher Prize. Again, that was very mind-blowing. We've been incredibly lucky that people have taken the time to nominate us for these awards. And then when you get that email, again, it's quite, I can't believe that. We've recently been nominated, again, looking at females in STEM subjects, looking at, it's called the She Can, and that's looking at STEM educators as well. So we don't know the outcome of that one yet. I think the results are in like June time. So yeah, we have been incredibly lucky for the awards that we've been nominated for and received. So yeah, thank you to everybody who's taken the time to nominate us and put us forward for those awards.
Yeah, that's great. And it's someone who supports you, basically.
Yeah, it is unbelievable
and
when you open that email and you're like, wow, I can't believe we've been nominated for that, or I can't believe we've won that. It is so kind of people to recognise us for that. It's really, really kind, and we do really appreciate it.
Today I have some pizza and a salad with cheese.
I know, that looks amazing.
I know you like cheese.
It looks fantastic, that tomato and mozzarella. I'm definitely up for that.
And I know you are a vegetarian.
I am, yeah.
That's why I have this mushroom pizza with rucola. And I need to thank Donero Pizza for this pizza. They have very great pizza, very, very great pizza.
Oh, fantastic. Love pizza.
Yes. Now we can start and eat.
Oh, that's exciting.
And I want to ask you, I think this is mine.
Yeah, you have that one. I'll dive into the veggie ones.
And you can try this one as well.
Oh no, that looks lovely.
I will have one cheese.
I love it. Yeah, tomato and mozzarella. Let's start over here with this little bit.
I think this is mozzarella.
I'm just about to hear my munching on here.
Oh, I love basil on food. The rest I will move it in the end.
Okay.
The rest of conversation. So I want to ask you what is with the book.
Oh, I know. I've brought you your own copy, so you can have one to keep. So today is a very exciting day because it is publication day for my brand new book. It's only taken me about 5 years to write.
Is this one?
Yeah, it's this one. So it's called Make Your Own Rainbow, a colourful approach to all things STEAM. And the idea of the book is that we are using the colours of the rainbow as inspiration for a number of experiments covering all things science, technology, engineering, the arts and maths. And we're using creativity to break down barriers to learning and accessibility to STEM and STEAM subjects.
I was eating some kind of mushroom. Not this one in particular, but...
It was amazing. That was my favourite part of this book was the photography. I got to work with an absolutely amazing photographer called Jane, who is such an inspiration. I still work with her to this day with her charity. She is amazing, and I enjoyed thoroughly setting everything up for the photos. That was honestly my favourite part of the book, was the photography. So much fun. Absolutely loved it. All the photos coming through.
I will show a preview.
Oh, thank you so much. So yeah, again, this stemmed, from establishing AmazeLab, from doing work during lockdown. That's why the ideas of rainbows came from, because when I was destroying my dining room table and trying to teach practical science from home, during COVID and lockdown times, a lot of my experiments linked to rainbows. From that initial exploding rainbows experiment. And I love these subjects to be accessible and colourful and creative and really, really fun. Not all stuffy or how you'd expect to teach them. That's the way that I like teaching, things being a little bit different. So yeah, that is where it came from. So again, really, really excited for the book to come out today. I hope you really enjoy it. I hope you can have loads of fun.
Where we can find to buy?
So the book is from Crown House Publishers. So they are an educational book company. So you can buy it directly from their website. If you check out the AmazeLab social media, you'll recognise our little rainbow in a conical flask. Do come along and follow us on there. All the links are on there. Plus it is available at all, big like internet stores as well, places like Amazon, things like that. But yeah, it is available locally at independent sellers as well. But yeah, if you Google "make your own rainbow," a colourful approach to all things STEAM, it will come up.
That's good. I will put some links in this description.
Oh, thank you so.
So I really love the name of AmazeLab.
Oh, thank you.
How did you come with the name?
Now, AmazeLab, full credit is David, my husband, who is the other half of AmazeLab. Myself and David established AmazeLab together. So because David has come from a branding background as being a senior graphic designer, he's been very used to putting together full corporate identities for a number of companies. I think it was more challenging when it comes to your own, trying to think what to do. My favourite piece of scientific equipment as a chemist, specialism for my science is chemistry. I love conical flasks. So a conical flask is, well, you'll see from our logo, it's like a piece of glassware where it's like larger at the bottom and it thins at the top. And I'd use them a lot because I randomly had quite a few of those in our garage that I could use for doing experiments with during lockdown. And as a science teacher, my initials spell LAB. So what are the chances of being a science teacher and your initials being lab? So David was like, we have got to use that. You're a science teacher, you're running a STEM education company and your initials spell lab. It's meant to be. So we asked people as well, and the word that most people associated with was amazing. So when we said to people, how would you describe what we do? Everybody came back with that word. So David christened as AmazeLab. So it's a bit of an Easter egg that a lot of people don't know that actually my initials are part of our name. And that's honestly how it came about.
I didn't realise until you told me.
No, honestly, not many people know that. It's been a bit of a insider trick. Obviously, AmazeLab works because of, what we do, because we teach, STEAM subjects. But yeah, it is actually secretly linked to my initials.
Nice. Mine, it's not linked with my initial. It's more regarding about a feeling. Quite peckish. Yeah, I did some research about how to call it, and I didn't want to call it I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, some people, what is quiet?
Oh.
What do you mean? You don't know?
Yeah.
So, do you remember the first workshop?
Well, the first big workshop that we did was the national advertising campaign and doing exploding rainbows. I remember I wore this like grey leopard print dress, which I've honestly kept just to have in the archive. And that is the first time that we first went like live to the nation. Really before AmazeLab was officially established, that was the first big broadcast that we did, and exploding rainbows will always hold a very special place in my heart. There's no feeling like it either when you don't know if anybody's really watching, you don't know whether anybody's joining in. And then after we'd logged off and I looked at my phone and all these people had shared their experiments with us and their exploding rainbows, it was such a moment. It was quite magical in a way, and because you just don't know whether he's doing it. And then when I looked and everybody sent me these messages, it was absolutely amazing, really. So yeah, if I had to pinpoint a time, it would be going live to the nation and completing our Exploding Rainbows experiment.
Yeah. Do you remember the most craziest experiment that you did?
Myself at school or myself teaching it?
Yourself.
In
private.
Obviously, as a teacher, we used to get the Van de Graaff generator out, the one that makes all your hair stand on end.
Yeah.
And it'd look like magic as well. I'd have to take all my rings and everything off and stand in a plastic tray to earth myself. And then you'd kind of have to pluck up the courage as well in the classroom to put your hands on the big Van de Graaff generator, and then you'd use like the little ball of it and it'd like generate lightning, which you're like Thor off the Avengers creating your own lightning. I used to teach like Avengers physics. So I used to touch that. And then one of my favourites with the Van de Graaff is not just everybody's hair standing on end. We used to do it where we could all connect to each other. I don't even think you can do this anymore in the classroom, because obviously health and safety changes continuously. We'd stand in a line and we'd pass it all down between us, or you'd get some of the little like aluminium cups, that you might get, like little pies or like pastries in, and you'd touch the Van de Graaff generator on one end, but on the other end all the cups would fly off, so it just looked like absolute magic.
Oh yeah.
I adore. Again, you have to be really, really careful with things, but as long as you use things correctly, I really love using dry ice as well. Like, it's an absolute hook for the children. They think it's absolutely amazing. When dry ice produces that big fog, it comes out in like a big fog effect. It's a bit like, being a Ghostbuster or something like that. Really magical and like magic potions and wizardry. So I think they're probably some of the most ones. I do know somebody, he's an engineer, but he has something where a giant flame effect comes up. And I've seen all sorts. I am very, very conscious of the health and safety, making sure that everybody stays nice and safe and doing things in the right environment as well. It is something that, as a science educator, I'm very keen on. Let's make sure that everybody stays safe and does things correctly. I am very keen on that.
Do you have any mentor who did this in your childhood?
My absolute hero is a lady called Helen Sharman. So Helen Sharman is the first ever British astronaut, but she's from Grenoside in Sheffield, and I'm originally from Chapeltown in Sheffield, which is literally just down the road. And I honestly, to this day, remember being in a porter cabin classroom at Coit Primary School in Chapeltown, Sheffield, with my teacher, and learning all about Helen blasting off to the Mir space station. And she had a huge influence on my career. If I get asked to speak about somebody at like International Women's Day or something like that, I always speak about Helen Sharman. I've never actually met her, but clearly during lockdown I went on about her that much, and to this day I still don't know even how they got our address. But I received a signed photo from Helen Sharman through the post, and I was so excited. I've still got that up in my house. So she had a huge influence on me, because not only was Helen a woman from the north, which I just thought was amazing, first ever British astronaut. Before she was an astronaut, she used to work for Mars, the chocolate company, and she used to make chocolate flavours and like Mars ice creams and things like that. I mean, what a woman. Honestly, she was an astronaut and worked at Mars. So Helen Sharman is my absolute hero. And I'm a chemist from Sheffield, so she clearly had a huge influence on my career. Sadly, I've never ever been in space, but I've always, even though chemistry is my specialism, obviously at AmazeLab I teach all aspects of, STEM and STEAM, but I've always had a real fascination with space, like when the Northern Lights come out and things like that as well. Oh, wow, it's so exciting.
I always miss those.
I always go out and look at the stars. I look for the International Space Station. I'm fascinated by all things space as well. So she had a huge influence on me when I was younger.
I think I don't have a book now, but I wrote a book. I don't have one physically copy now, where I imagine planet Earth having an international space station around the Earth.
Yeah.
And it looked like a mini Saturn.
Yeah.
And even in my book, people was making mining from asteroids belt, and to not go in the atmosphere, they just stuck in that ring.
Yeah.
That was my idea. I think I try to imagine the future.
Yeah,
in
no,
that
it's
book.
fascinating. You know,
Yes.
we don't really know what's out there, do we? It's absolutely fascinating.
I mean, we need to take resources from outside.
Yeah.
I'm a bit scared about this.
Yeah, we'll wait and see what happens.
Yes. I mean, maybe not in our timeline, but I'm just thinking about the kids.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it will happen one day.
Yeah. Your STEAM workshops have reached 250,000 young people. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's because we've been invited to do some amazing events. So we try to pop up as well in places where you might not expect to do, like a bit of like a science or STEM or STEAM workshop. And we do that purposely. A real big believer that there is an AmazeLab workshop for everybody. So if you want to come to an AmazeLab workshop, there will be one that you can attend. So it doesn't have to be the school as booked us. We run workshops at places like Barnsley Libraries. Absolutely adore Barnsley Libraries. What a fantastic place. And those workshops are funded, meaning that you can book on and you can come along free of charge because somebody's very, very kindly funded and paid for all of that equipment. We try to pop up at big events as well. So things like Barnsley Bright Nights. Oh, it's crazy, but what an event. Absolutely fantastic. Thousands of people going through, illuminate the gardens in Sheffield over Bonfire Night weekend, 5,000 people coming through every night. Sheffield Food Festival, I think there were about 25,000 people that attended that event. And then we're incredibly fortunate that we've been asked to do events like Mars Day. So Mars Day is a big event. Again, it's a fully funded event. Individuals, schools can register for Mars Day. It happens every single March. And the reach of events like that are huge. So again, I do that from my dining room in Barnsley. Last year I was sandwiched between Tim Peake and Shaun the Sheep, so I think that was an amazing place to be. So, you know, it was Shaun the Sheep was on, we were on, then Tim Peake was on, who was another British astronaut. So there we have people tuning in from across the whole of the UK. We've had resources as well from AmazeLab, go to places like Jamaica, Dubai, Brazil, Australia, Bahrain, because when we create activity packs, they can be emailed out.
Okay, yeah.
So we worked really closely with a school in Australia. They set us a project, we wrote it and then just sent it all over to them. So it is really surreal when you see people doing your work that's originally come out of Barnsley, but it's happening in somewhere like Jamaica. It's an absolutely amazing feeling.
Yeah, this is quite wonderful. But there are so many educational problems out there. What do you think yours is standing out?
I think it's because we're very unique in that myself and David are that team that can provide that whole package of writing, delivering and designing the programmes. So between us as a pair, you know, if somebody sets the challenge to write workshops, you know, say for example, there's a construction company, they want to teach the local children about a bridge that they're building. You know, they may come to us and say, can you provide us with a suite of resources? Will you help us engage the school and the local community? We might then, you know, train their staff. And I think it's the fact that we can do all that in-house makes us really, really unique. And I love things being practical, fun and engaging for everybody, you know, super colourful, no like barriers to learning, using, you know, really low cost and just all resources that everybody can access. And if somebody can't, you know, make us aware, and we work with a number of organisations making sure that resources are accessible. So we work with a number of different charities and organisations because it's something that we're really proud and passionate about. These subjects are for everybody, and I find it to be a real honour as well that when I stand in front of a classroom, I do not know who is in front of me. You know, we might have, you know, the person who finds the cure for a horrendous disease, the first person to step foot on Mars. You just don't know who's there. And if you can just ignite that tiny little spark in them to then take on like STEM subjects, it is, like I say, for the betterment of us all. We need these people in the future, and we just don't know who's going to be out there. So yeah, I think it's you know, I was working with some sixth form students this morning. You know, they were like 18, 19, and it was wonderful to see so many like young women as well who wanted to speak to me about being involved in STEM subjects. I think in a way they were a bit like, oh, she can do it, we might have a, you know, we might be able to have a go. They're like, oh, how did you get to there and do that? So I think really, you know, just breaking down those barriers and making these subjects accessible and that everybody can join in and have a go. There's no failure in being a part of it. Just come and have a go and join in. So I think that's what sometimes makes it a bit different, that we don't make these subjects necessarily scary or baffling, because some people get completely turned off from them and think, oh, I can't do that. You can definitely come and have a go and join in.
How do you think you will react if one student of yours in 5 years is going to discover something or making something brilliant and get awarded, and after that is going to mention you?
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I mean, that was, I mean, I think I've got teachers who had a huge influence on me that I am forever thankful for, and I use their influence in my teaching. I was taught by we were taught RE by the ever amazing Kate Botley, who you'll know from being on radio. I've literally just heard Mrs. Botley to me on Radio Sheffield as I was driving over. But Kate, Mrs. Botley, had such a way that she made learning really, really fun. She would sit on the table in the middle of a lesson and wear a silly hat or tell a joke. And I absolutely adored that, and I used that in my teaching. Mr. Cater, Tony Cater, absolutely amazing. He used to be my form tutor at Ecclesfield Secondary School. He was a maths teacher, but again, you're probably not allowed to do this anymore. I promise it was safe, everybody. We used to sit in like league tables. He loved football. He was from Norwich. He was a massive Norwich City fan. And we used to learn maths, but with darts. So we'd all, use a darts board, but we'd calculate everything. And it was brilliant. So these people had a big influence on me, and I hope that, they know that if I saw them to this day, I would definitely say, thank you so much for influencing, my teaching practice. I think as well, I've not always been a teacher. So when I was younger, I always wanted to be a vet, and that's what I did used to do. So I think coming from STEM industry has had a really big useful influence as well, because when sometimes a young person can't see why they need that skill or why they use it, and I'll say I used to use that in the vets every day. I used to take x-rays, radiographs, we used to take wee samples, poo samples, blood samples. You need that, because I actually used to do that at work, and I think that was really good in my teaching as well, that I had real world examples that I used to use. I used to love watching All Creatures Great and Small when I was younger on telly. The dream of driving around North Yorkshire in a Land Rover was huge, and that is honestly what I used to do. I used to work in a vets, so I used to work in general practice, where you take your dog, your cat, your rabbit. I then used to work in orthopaedic referral centre, so fracture, broken bones, spines. I honestly used to swim dogs for a living, doing hydrotherapy, building up muscle bulk, getting them back on the feet. And then I used to train veterinary nurses. So that's where my teaching started to come in. I think secretly I did always want to be a teacher. I used to make little displays in my bedroom, like those classroom displays that people have, like a book. And I used to like doing that. I used to have a table in my bedroom when I was younger. So I then used to quality assure the veterinary nursing award. So I could decide, who could be a veterinary training practice, who could be a veterinary nurse. And then when my little girl was 2, I went back to university and I did my PGCE. So I trained, like I say, in science with a chemistry specialism, and I've taught in primary, secondary and post-16. So I think it's having that experience and being able to apply it to different situations. Like I really enjoyed working alternative provision and SEND, like special educational needs. I really enjoy working with those schools. Now I had a great experience at a trust that specialises in like alternative provision and special educational needs this week. They were absolutely brilliant. We have to teach things slightly differently, in like short 20-minute bursts, but it was absolutely fantastic working with those year 9 students in that setting. So yeah, I think it's just taking that experience and then, being able to adapt and change to different audiences as well.
You mentioned you wanted to be a vet when you've been a kid. How you been with creativity in that period of your life? Did you create stuff?
Oh, yeah. Well, I used to just have like a whole variety of animals. You've never seen somebody have so many cuddly toys of all different animals. I was obsessed, I used to feed them, I used to take them out for a walk. I've always adored animals. It's my personal opinion, but I think life is just so much better with pets. We have pets now. I see the benefits that they have to my 2 children. I absolutely adore pets and animals. It's something that I've always really, really enjoyed doing. And I suppose that veterinary world never really leaves you. It helps me look after my pets now.
Yeah. If little you see the big you, what she will think?
Oh, I think she'd be amazed. I think because from being a young child, I was so obsessed with working in the veterinary profession. I could never have imagined me doing anything else. It's so weird, isn't it, how life evolves and takes you on this journey. I think I'd be really proud. I was always such a determined, like young child. Like I always really used to love football. But at school we didn't have a girls' football team. So I went out and got as a coach. This is like as like a 15-year-old and established the girls' football team at Ecclesfield School. It's still going to this day that I'm really, really proud of them. They probably don't know that was its origins. I honestly made posters and put them in all the registers. At the time, I'm not that old, but when, registers weren't even all digitalised. So I've always been like really determined to do something. So when I set my mind to it, I will keep going to try and get there. But no, I think if you'd have said to me, younger self, I would probably been working in a vet like my entire life. It is, I don't think I could ever imagine that this was where we'd end up being, especially not running our own business as well. I'm really pleased that we are here now, and I'm very, very proud of that. But yeah, I don't think I ever could have imagined where we'd end up.
Yeah. That's interesting. I mean, the question, what I ask, is giving you a different perspective. I just remember I was thinking I would be a software engineer, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, in my mind, it was working on the computer.
Yeah.
But what I'm doing now, I'm still doing something like that, but it's quite hard.
Yeah.
And I found this more easy.
Yeah, I think as well it's those aspirations of not knowing when you were younger. I probably didn't know that this could be my job or my profession or my career. That is something, again, that I'm really passionate about taking into schools. We were lucky enough to work on like a young enterprise challenge. A businessman approached us and said, I really want to start getting this into primary schools. I want to, help with the business leaders of the future. And we helped write that program, with him as like an educational resource. And it's something that, since being named in like the top 100 as well of female entrepreneurs, I've then approached schools and said, I know I come in and do AmazeLab and do like the STEAM workshops, but I'd also be really interested in actually now speaking to young people about being a business owner, and I've been named on this list. So I think perhaps I was quite limited when I was younger, that I probably didn't know what you could achieve or what you could become. If I had like fantastic parents, and a great family, you're just not always exposed or know about these different things that, like I say, that you can evolve into.
Yeah, that's true. Like, my podcast in this moment does have too many views, but I didn't know how basically the money are made.
Yeah.
And you can make money with not too many views.
Yeah.
Because, at this moment, maybe I don't have too many subscribers, but how about in 1 year?
Yeah. Yeah. You don't know what's going to happen, do you? You don't know where you'll be.
You just need to keep doing.
Yeah.
Keep doing.
Yeah.
It's everyone, even millionaires, they are telling me this. Just keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Yeah.
You are getting better.
Yeah.
And who is not coming on your podcast is going to be sorry.
Yeah. Definitely need to be at the start.
Yes.
You need to be in there.
Exactly. They said if they didn't come when you ask them to come, you can charge them a lot of money.
When they come asking you in a few years' time.
Yes. That's what. And when I start to do the podcast and I start to go to networking events, I saw people that are so brilliant. They start businesses in some niche.
I don't know how to think of it.
Yes.
Why did I have that idea?
Yeah.
How did they come up with that?
I know someone who it's basically have a frog farm.
Oh.
They're cute, like the jungle one, and I need to ask what they're doing with them. What they're doing with them, but it's a business.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
Oh, there's all sorts out there. Yeah, I've met some brilliant people and absolutely fascinating stories. And obviously you're learning from these people all the time. I love speaking to them. I love learning about how they did things. You know, I love learning. You know, I work in education. I absolutely love learning. I don't think you ever stop learning, but, you know, really listening and watching these other people, especially in business, and seeing what they've achieved, you can learn so much from them. And I think just being really open-minded and open to new ideas and changing the way that you do things and reviewing how you run your business, and how you can change things as well, rather than being like a bit of a closed book, just being really open to thinking, oh, what are they doing? How are they doing it well? How can we do ours, you know, so much better? Yeah,
Yes.
Definitely. I love hearing people's stories though. You know, I find it fascinating. I love hearing about, like, you know, the lives that they've led and how they've got to where they are today. I find it really fascinating. I love having those conversations with people at events.
Yes, like I had that doctor from Leeds, and she inspired me, and that's why I stepped in the ring.
Yeah.
Because she's supposed to be dead,
Yeah.
and she just went in the ring after that. So I was, I can do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
I
Brilliant
wasn't
stories,
in that
brilliant
position
people.
to die,
Yeah.
but why to not take the opportunity?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we can do amazing stuff.
Oh, yeah, and there are people out there doing all sorts, and
Oh,
they're,
yeah.
you know, not really getting any credit for it either, and just, yeah, quietly going away, changing the world and doing utterly brilliant things.
This thought, it just come now. When you've been young, did you like MacGyver?
I'm not sure what that...
Oh, you don't know about MacGyver?
Perhaps I do. I'm not sure.
It was a very old series of movie with in America, where it was this, I think it was teacher, but he was quite smart, and he was doing all DIY stuff to get from the situations. That's a great movie.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to get inspiration, watch that movie.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you for the tip.
I mean, it's a new one now, but the old one, it was so brilliant. I mean, I need to watch it again, because when I watched it, I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I think now I understand.
Revisit it, see if it's the same.
No, I think I will understand different now,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I know a lot of stuff. And basically, even he was a prisoner somewhere, and he's supposed to build something
Yeah.
to escape. And because he had that knowledge,
Yeah.
chemistry, physics, everything, he dodged that. I mean, even he teach in one school basically about some physics stuff, and he said it doesn't matter how big you are.
Yeah.
If you know physics,
Yeah.
you can
go far.
yeah. And basically he went against one football player which was massive,
Yeah.
and he was skinny. He put him down because he know how to leverage
Yeah.
the body weight.
Yes. Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Yeah. So
And-
it pays to know science.
And I think that short video, it's all over the internet, because they're quite big actors now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh no, check it out.
you know the guy from Stargate. O'Neill, you didn't watch Stargate?
I will do. Yeah. If I see him, I might know him.
But did you watch Stargate?
No, I don't think I have.
I like Stargate.
I might reckon that'll be one of those where, like, my husband will be like, of course you have. And then I'll be like, oh, yeah, I know what it is now.
I really love science fiction, and even Stargate was one which it was a wow.
Yeah.
Now it's old. Maybe they're going to revive it.
Yeah.
But from the Stargate SG-1, they make another one, Stargate Atlantis, and
Oh, no, I have heard of that. Yeah. They're good. Recommended.
Yes. Let's Star Trek. And let's talk about this entrepreneur thing, because how you say it, you've been a teacher and now you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
It was hard to do that transition.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was doing. And yeah, I suppose because it was quite accidental as well. It's not really something that I'd planned. It was a really big terrifying step. It was really hard to I probably should have left my teaching position probably over a year earlier than I should have done. Everybody was telling me, you need to go, you need to pursue this, you're missing out on amazing opportunities. I knew I was, but one, it was like there was never a good time to leave the children that you were teaching. These super young people, or somebody doing exams, or something going off, and it was a massive, big, scary step. My husband David is amazing. He was like, you need to leave, it'll be fine. And Dave's always been just a massive cheerleader of mine and really supporting everything that we're doing. He's absolutely super. And I've actually known my husband from being 11. You never know who you sat next to in secondary school. We used to be in the same form together at school, and so we've known each other for years and years and years. And he's always been so supportive and like, you need to leave, you need to go and do it. But we realised our limitations as well. So I sought advice. We were helped brilliantly by Launchpad in Barnsley. Ben over there was absolutely phenomenal. So when we realised that we're going to start going on this journey, we knew that we needed to speak to people and we needed some help so we didn't completely mess it up. Andy as well, who was based over in Sheffield as like a business manager, was just phenomenal, and we wouldn't be where we are today without these people recommending us like really good accountants. We recently got accepted onto the NatWest Accelerator program, which again was a huge point for us because they look out for businesses that they think have got really good potential, and then you get enrolled onto this program. So it was a whole new world for us, and we're still learning now. There's so much learning that we still need to do in the way that we change things. But I think my top tip to anybody as well would be realising your limitations and where you need to outsource stuff to and where you need to speak to experts for help and advice. Sometimes you can't just do it all yourself. You need to make sure that you're speaking to people and that things are done correctly as well.
I've been to Launchpad.
Oh yeah, Ben's been absolutely. I'm still in regular contact with Ben. We're working on a project currently together that involves the DMC, the absolutely super maker lab in the centre of Barnsley, working with industry partners on a school project. But again, I really enjoy that we've forged those links, and I want us all to work together. I'm a massive fan of collaboration and everybody coming together and helping one another.
Yeah. I love the session. Basically, I start with the business part from there.
Yeah, they're brilliant, aren't they? I'm funded as well, which is so handy.
Yes. But I want even further to get more expert help.
Yeah.
But I still need to go back.
Yeah.
To talk with them as well. You grow so much in visibility. You run those experiments on BBC radio, no?
Yeah. That's one of those again where I just have like random phone calls, which are just amazing. I don't want these phone calls to stop, or email, or you'll see this email pop up and you're like, wow, is that real? Do they honestly want us to do that? When places like the BBC, I was at my swimming lesson with like my little boy, my phone's ringing. They're trying to have a serious conversation with you about doing experiments on the BBC, and I'm trying to watch my little boy swimming at Oil and Leisure Centre. Honestly, this is this weird mixture as well, I suppose, being like a parent, a mum, a business owner, a teacher. So yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic. Again, people approaching us, asking us to go on programmes, on shows and write resources for them. Me having to say to my amazing two children, Mummy's live on the BBC. Please don't come in the dining room. I can just imagine this moment of madness. Please don't let the dog bark. Again, all of this is from my dining room in Barnsley. So yeah, that dining room in Barnsley has been to some places now. I'm obviously always really conscious as well if everybody understands my Yorkshire accent. That's another thing that when I'm doing these experiments, I think, so everybody realise how Yorkshire I am. But no, it's been, phenomenal really, and we're really excited that people want to contact us, and you never quite know who's going to ring or what's going to pop up in your inbox, and I love the excitement of that. But again, it's equally exciting and equally terrifying because you don't want to do something really stupid. So I have, it is always in the back of the back of your mind, oh, I hope this goes okay. But then I think just take a deep breath and hope it's all going to be all right.
Yeah, but what is the worst? What can happen? I mean, it can happen a lot of things, but you can stay afraid.
Yeah, I think because nowadays, like, everything's documented forever, isn't it? You know, there'll be no escape from it. Everything's out there forever. So yeah, I always think, don't try not to make a complete fool of yourself. So I always try not to.
I had a follow-up question. If you have any trick to use now when the fears drop in.
Oh, I do. So I completely owe one of my university lecturers full credit for this. So an amazing, slightly scary lady, but I think she did it on purpose when we were at university. I think ultimately she wasn't as scary as she made out, but I think she just wanted us to do well, and that was a persona. So Kathy Kizik, one of my university lecturers, again, these are just different educators that have had a huge influence on my career. So Kathy would always say to us, when you're going in at university to your exams, you walk in there with your head held high and your shoulders back, and you will not be beaten. And I honestly still echo my university lecturers' like words in my head. So, you know, this is back from me being like 21, sitting final exams at university, and Kathy saying that to us before these final exams, and that her words honestly echo through my mind. I think, right, you walk in there, you have your head held high, you have your shoulders back, and you will not be beaten. and I do that, you know, I go in, and again, it's a great honour. I might be doing like a whole school assembly. You know, I've been with all those sixth form students today, and yeah, I do have to remind myself of that, you know, or people say, oh, just try and be yourself, you know, then you're just always thinking, oh, that's something stupid. But yeah, no, full credit to my university lecturer. Her words echo through my mind a lot.
Yeah, I had one experience where I've been to a networking event, and I speak with everyone. I told what I do, and everything was great. I was selling it basically, and I went to the main coach of the event, and I gave my business card, and he told me what I should do with this. Basically, he wanted to know what I want.
Yeah.
And I lost it. I froze. I didn't know what to answer. And I had so great time telling to everyone, but to him.
Yeah.
A few months later, I had this shift in my mind. Before I was afraid, and I said, but they're humans like me. They're not higher, they're not on the bottom, they are the same. They're doing mistakes as well, and they're humans.
Yeah, definitely. Completely agree.
And because I was doing the podcast, I changed a bit of mindset, and I meet again with him. Yeah. And I told him, I noticed. But well done, really you're speaking with me again, and you're doing well. And you put
yourself out there in that situation as well, rather than shy away from it. You thought, do you know what? No, I'm going to face that head on and give it another go.
Yeah, but I was so embarrassed then, because how I could tell for 100 people exactly the same stuff, but when I saw someone more important, and just give me a question, what I supposed to do with it?
Yeah.
Even the answer could be, check my website, or it's supposed to be easy.
Well, I know, it's like, you know, you get offered these amazing opportunities, and then you do have that absolute time of self-doubt where you think, what am I doing? You know, I felt like a good idea at the time. I'm so honoured that I'm doing this, but what was I thinking that I could do this? And then you think, right, you're in this situation now, and you've got to do it, and you've got to do it well. And then I try and think of, you know, I think of like my kids as well, and think, you know, I want them to be proud of me. So you need to just go, and you need to just try your best, and just do what you do and try and do it well. But yeah, I completely agree. Everybody's human, and, you know, when you speak to people, you know, you never know who you're speaking to as well. I think, Joyce, you know, I was always taught, you treat other people how you wish to be treated. You're always respectful of other people. I suppose I don't really have a different manner with who I'm, speaking to. And I think that that's important as well. Everybody is, I'll speak to young people the way that I'd speak to probably, like a dignitary or something because to me, these young people are just as important. So I do try and echo that from like the words of my parents about treat others how you wish to be treated, always be, respectful of different people and different situations as well. So I always do try to do that as well.
Did you ever think about how your kids are seeing you?
Oh, no, that's terrifying as well, isn't it?
It's just because in my case, my 6-year-old knows what I'm doing. Even I'm going to festivals, and she's seeing. I mean, even she is welcome.
Yeah.
And I think somehow she's seeing I do something.
Yeah. Which
is different than others. Because she's receiving like cakes for free so she's saying like why with mommy I don't receive.
I want to go out with you. This is loads better.
Yes.
No, I have had an instance. It was funny where we were doing this big event and McLaren were there. Like the McLaren supercars from down at the Advanced Manufacturing Park, and I'd taken my little boy along to this event, and I think at the time he was probably 5. I think it was a couple of years ago, 5 or 6, and he'd gone into school and he was telling them this story at school, and they're like, oh, Lucas has told us a right story today about sitting in a supercar and speaking to so and so and so and so. And I went, I did do that last night, and they were like, oh, you're joking. I said, no, that wasn't even a tale. That is honestly what Lucas did last night. But I really hope that we can open these worlds up to our kids and that they have all these experiences. I've never felt pressure like doing British Science Week at my daughter's school when she was in year 6. I think ultimately she's proud of me, but you can't just be that, you'll always just be their mum, won't you? You can be like such an embarrassment, to him. And I remember the morning at this big day at British Science Week, and Alex, my daughter, saying to me, Mummy, do not embarrass me. And I've never been so nervous to run an AmazeLab workshop in my entire life than the thought of like my daughter being in this assembly, like, Mummy, don't embarrass me, Mummy, don't embarrass me. But then, when that came full circle, it got to the end of the day, and Alex went, oh, Mummy, it was so fab because everybody was saying how cool my mummy is, which probably doesn't happen very often. I'm a scientist, you know what I mean? I teach science. But they were like, oh, your mum's so cool. I thought, oh, yes, we pulled that off. And Alex had that super feedback, which was just absolutely lovely, and that's ultimately what matters, isn't it? So yeah, I'm sure I have lots of times where I embarrass him. She gets a bit, you'll be exactly the same as me, and it was the same. My mum used to work in a bank when I was younger, so because she was on a counter of a bank, you couldn't, you'd go to a supermarket, it'd take you 3 hours to get around because talking to everybody. So sometimes my kids were like, oh, Mummy, why does everybody have to talk to you? Or, but again, it's nice, isn't it? Or, you always want to give that positive impression as well. So sometimes they do, you've gone swimming and you've seen a loads of kids that you teach and they're like, oh, Mummy, can't we just go somewhere? That kind of. Yeah. But I think, it's really nice that people want to talk to us and say hello, It's actually really positive and lovely thing. So, yeah, I think there's pluses and minuses in.
And yesterday I was asked why I'm filming Picking Litter. So, we are doing this for charity, and that's amazing.
Yeah, when my kids got to do the unboxing of the book and they got to be like a YouTube star, they thoroughly enjoyed that. Yeah, because they were like, I said, the new book's here, so we get to do an unboxing. And my little boy was like, whoa, my God, that's amazing. So yeah, so he did really, really enjoy having the opportunity to do that. And because with the book, I worked really closely with like industry experts and other educators, and most importantly, the Mini AmazeLab crew. So anybody's welcome to be a member of the Mini AmazeLab crew, but we have amazing young people of all ages who help us test resources and run workshops and things like that. So all the guys in the Mini AmazeLab crew that are in the book or have since joined the Mini AmazeLab crew, the publishers very kindly arranged for them all to receive a copy of the book. So we've got these absolutely amazing videos of their first look and their first impressions of the book, which is
I think I saw
absolutely,
something.
brilliant. I've absolutely loved seeing, their feedback on it. And obviously they were really involved with the experiments that are in the book. So when I saw, a little boy in year 1 at school last week, and he was like, oh, I tested that experiment. I bet that's the best one. It's so nice. And I hope they will look back with really fond memories when they go into their future, careers, that they got to be involved in something like that.
I'm just thinking now, if our kids are seeing we are doing what we like, how that will impact on
I can't
them.
wait to see. I cannot wait to see what they become. I've got no idea. My little girl at one time always wanted to be a Blue Peter presenter. And I thought, that'd be amazing. She's got like 8 Blue Peter badges. And I thought that would just be an absolutely fantastic job, because again, during lockdown, we used to do this amazing program organised by a wonderful scientist called Sam, called the Global Science Show. So the Global Science Show was every presenter got like a 7-minute slot, and it literally went around the world. So you did your slot, you passed it on to somebody else. And I ended up losing my slot to my daughter. So my daughter took over, we'd do it together, which was absolutely, absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I can't wait to see what they become. I've got no idea.
What do you love more about running AmazeLab today compared to the structured world of teaching?
Oh, it was a huge change for me, because I'd come from the world of veterinary practice that is, really organised, really structured, a bit like what I imagine like a military operation to be, because you had to be so organised. And then I'd gone into teaching that again was really restricted, limited, really structured. And the first September, when I'd come out of that, I remember David, my husband, saying to me, you don't know what to do with yourself, do you? And I was like, no, it's really strange. It actually took me till about Christmas to adapt, because I'd been so used, to having people senior than myself, you need to do this, you need to do that, this needs to be done, you have to do this in this, strict order, we're having this now, we're doing that. So it was a massive change for me to become my own boss. I am still really... I'd rather get up early in the morning. I'm much more of a morning person, get stuff done. I am really disciplined with myself. I'm quite lucky that if something needs doing, I will just get up and do it. I won't leave it. It's just not my style of doing stuff. I'd rather just get up, face what I need to do, and then make sure it's all done like nice and early. So that bit was fine of it, but it was really strange, somebody not telling you what to do or what the expectations were. Like that, honestly. Yeah, Dave, he honestly said, you don't know what to do with yourself. And I was like, no, this is really odd. And still feeling like guilty about stuff, like I wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like, it's my business, but it's our business, you know what I mean? But like, somebody going, you can book a hair appointment on a Thursday dinner. I'm like, no, you can't, because that's when we're at work. You know what I mean? Like, I still find that really strange to this day, and we're 5 years in.
That does mean that the guilt part is normal.
Yeah.
Okay, because I had that.
Yeah, you feel like you need to be like working all the time, don't you? I have got, it's like, I think again, when it's your own business and you have the pressures of that, it feels really strange to have time off. You need time off. I'm definitely not saying that you shouldn't have time off. But that's quite strange as well, because you think, we've not got any bookings then, or we haven't got a project, or we haven't got any workshops. So that bit is quite difficult, but that is something that over the years I have got much, much better at.
Like in my case, because I have 2 podcasts, I have this one in English and that one in Romanian. And I don't balance them properly. So sometimes I have too many guests on the English one, too many on the other one. And sometimes I end up to not have any guests on the...
Yeah. It's all the work behind it as well, into the editing that takes so long. People don't realise. I think it's a bit like with our resource as well. The part that David does, the designing, the creating of the activity packs, it takes a very, very long time, and it's a really hard job. It'd be the same with
after you leave, I need to go.
Yeah, it's going to take hours, and it's such a big job that people don't see the behind the scenes part of it that's happening.
After you go, I need to jump on editing because I need to publish the next podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm in work in progress to pay someone to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, basically I'm teaching now. I'm teaching that person how to do it because I'm not able to do everything.
Yeah.
Because I need to do the money.
Yeah.
I need to do the podcast, to editing, even social media. Well, I think with social media, I think my wife is going to handle that
Oh,
part.
there we go. Yeah, you've already got a team. You're sorted.
Yes, and the money part.
Yeah,
Because to create invoices and
yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
I can't be asked.
yeah. It's a different skill as well. It's a really hard skill.
Yes. She's doing now university business management.
Yeah,
She's
there you
going
go.
to be
Yeah.
good practice for
Yeah.
her. She already used my company for her projects.
Yeah. So yeah, you're ready made. You're good to go.
Yes.
Apprenticeship.
Let's dream a bit. How do you see AmazeLab in 3 years?
Oh, I really hope we continue to grow. I hope we can continue, to offer work experience to young people that need it. I really valued when people took a bit of a chance on me, and I needed that work experience and references, to get into university. And these are the opportunities that we're trying to provide as well. I'd absolutely, love that we've got, really big businesses, contracts, projects where our resources are being used, nationally, regularly, that they're part of like that curriculum. I'd absolutely love to see that happen. And then, even like the establishment of AmazeLab hubs in different centres at the moment, it's ourselves that are driving around, the entire country. It'd be absolutely super if we could have people positioned in different places. So yeah, hopefully just to continue to expand the project, but just have a larger and larger and larger reach where some of those resources become a bit more of the norm as well.
Yeah, that's nice. Great. I want to talk about creativity, because how was that belief help you to push to this tough time?
Yeah, completely believe that creativity takes courage. I am from a very creative household. I'm a bit of the odd one out, really, with some of my friends, doing science. I work with a lot of people who work in the arts, graphic designers, really creative careers. And again, David being, the graphic designer, having done, arts and design, college, product design at university, really influenced myself. I've loved the arts in terms of, photography. I'm not saying I'm any good at it, but I absolutely adore photos. But I love using photos to document things. I love looking back and going, what we're doing this time last year, or I've, documented it in photography. I absolutely adore that, and like all the colours it and everything. And I think it's just so important for you to be yourself, and that's what will make you unique. Not everybody agreed with me when I was in, mainstream teaching stuff. I did have somebody describe what I did as fluff, but I'm so pleased that I had much stronger people around me who encouraged me that we were doing the right thing. I had really good, again, lecturers when I was doing my PGC, my teacher training, saying, don't worry, you've got something special, keep being your unique self. Sometimes I was a bit of like the odd one out. My classroom looked like Hogwarts. Some people describe me as like, swimming in the opposite direction to everybody else. But I'm now really strange. I'm now really pleased that I was like that strange fish, as somebody described me. And I think, there's that brilliant saying in there about, be yourself because everybody else is taken. And I absolutely love that. One of the arts teachers I used to work with used to have that as like a bit of a graphic on her window in her classroom. And it used to make me smile. And that's something that I encourage all the young people to do. Don't let anybody else put you down or think that you need to be within their mould. Do things your way. And I think we've really proven that with AmazeLab. I did things differently. I didn't just do everything in the same way. We used creativity to teach these subjects. We made it super colourful. We get all the learning in there, but we just do it in a slightly different manner, which I find a lot more enjoyable. So I think definitely go out there, be yourself, but you have to be really brave, and you need to have good people around you, like, constantly encouraging you, saying, no, it's all right, do things a bit differently, don't worry about it too much.
I really wanted to have someone in my life when I was a child to continue the science part. And I think it is. It's who's surrounded by you, who you with, who can offer you that that encouragement to tell you that things will be okay, and keep going and being yourself rather than trying to fit in. Now I have one final question, because this podcast, it's a bit about food. What is one dish, or let's say one thing what everyone should taste?
Oh, well, if we're staying in Barnsley, we all need to go to Dolly's Desserts and go, yeah, let's do that. That's right up my street.
Yes.
Anything from there. Oh, gosh, that's like become absolute, Barnsley staple, isn't it? I can't go into Barnsley with my daughter without a visit to there. Oh, it tastes so special. What an amazing place.
I think it was a Kinder Bueno milkshake, which I had. Oh, my God, the taste.
So
lots of calories, but
so
it's worth it.
If you're going out somewhere in Barnsley, let's head to Glassworth Square and let's go there to get something to eat.
Yes,
that would be. Yeah, absolutely
good
super.
Good advice. I should go for the last time before I started no sugar diet. That milkshake ring.
Oh, it's so special, isn't it? Yeah, That's where I'd say that people need to go if they're coming on a visit. And obviously there are many brilliant places, but that's my favourite.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think I've been only 3 times.
I have probably been more than that, if I'm being honest.
3 times per week?
Not quite that much, but yeah, I've said about my sweet tooth, I can't help it. Yeah, no, that'd be...
yeah, I totally
really
get
nice.
it. It's very nice. And even it's exactly in the center.
Yeah.
The great spot.
Yeah, it's a fantastic spot.
Yeah.
In Glassworth Square and Market Kitchen, brilliant spots.
Yes. So, thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
I have one more question. Where people can find your work?
Oh, thank you. Yes, so please Google AmazeLab. Come and follow us on social media. Like I say, you will recognise us from our little rainbow inside the conical flask. You'll recognise that logo. And I just think if you come and follow us on places like Instagram, you'll get a real feel of what we do. Again, looking at all those photos, seeing what people have written about us. Yeah, please do come and follow along.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. And please, if you want to buy the book, I think I will make a special section on my website where I will have a kind of library.
Oh, amazing!
Because apparently, lots of my guests they have their own book, and
brilliant!
That will be interesting because being hungry to know.
Oh, I'd really like to look at all of those. Yeah,
Yes.
That sounds like a great idea.
Yes. So thank you, and
Thank you.
I hope we are going to see you with other occasion.
Oh, yes,
Yes,
please.
Yeah. Thank you. What is your favorite food?
Shall I be completely honest what my favourite food is? I feel like I should probably give a different answer, but ultimately chocolate. I absolutely adore chocolate. My husband always jokes with me, he says you should see the way your face lights up when a good dessert comes out at a restaurant. I've got such a sweet tooth. I absolutely adore chocolate and desserts. Really do. I'd be hypnotised to not like chocolate.
Did you been to JJ Snack?
Yes. Oh, that was amazing. So myself and my children went at Halloween. And we went to the Halloween chocolate making session. Oh, I loved going inside that chocolate factory. Then obviously I was looking at it from like a STEM educator's point of view as well, which was just absolutely, yeah, how cool is that we've got a chocolate factory in Barnsley? Yeah, I absolutely adore chocolate. I will be completely honest and put that out there. Chocolate is ultimately my favourite food. I do love like salad. I really like fruit. I actually really like vegetables, so all of that's great. But yeah, sadly then tipped over the edge with all the chocolate and desserts and puddings that I like to eat.
The thing is that I can't stop eating chocolate. If I start eating...
It's so good. I've always been the same from being a young age. I've always loved chocolate. Yeah, I was very excited to discover the chocolate factory in Barnsley.
I hope that I will have them on the podcast as well.
Yes.
I already talked with, but when I asked them, they've been very busy. But
I'm sure we'll do it.
Even the part with visiting the factory, that's interesting.
Yeah, at the business village. I know, so it's great because like, you turn up at the business village and then there's a chocolate factory in it and you wouldn't know, would you, unless you got to know. We loved it at Halloween. It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I'm sure we'll do the podcast.
We have some Romanians, but they put the name of the company, Yorkshire Cheese Farm. They're making Romanian cheese in one of British farm. They've been awarded, but in Romania.
Yeah. I'm sure they can replicate that. I hope you enjoy living in Barnsley. Do you like it?
Yes. I like the traffic. I mean, it's not like London. Yeah, and you know what is great? It's not very far from peaks.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
it's
not
such
very-
a good location.
It's not very far from seaside.
No, these are all the things that I really like as well. Yeah, you can get to the seaside, you can get on the motorway, you can get down to major cities. Yeah, you're surrounded by greenery. I think it's such a good...
Doncaster, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Sheffield, 20 minutes. Leeds,
Leeds,
30.
yeah.
York, I think, is 40. Manchester, 100. No, 100. Oh, sorry. 1 hour and 20. And lately, I'm going too often to Manchester.
Right.
I used to go to Stansted. I don't really like it. It's too long to go there, and I'm going every month. And found it even driving in Manchester more interesting than London.
It's nice, Manchester. It's really nice.
I don't know if they
for
put
another
truffle oil or something.
Oh, nice.
I'm not sure. I saw they put something.
Do you have different food every podcast?
Yes. I don't know what kind of mushrooms there are.
No, I can't tell you. I'm very sorry.
Do you like mushrooms?
I love mushrooms.
Because in my country, we used to go to pick mushrooms, but there are different kinds, different tastes. We have even a type of mushroom which have a bit of garlic taste. I don't like those, but my parents they love it. When you go out, where do you like to eat?
As a vegetarian, quite often you go somewhere and you just get one choice. So, I am pretty easy going. As long as there is like something vegetarian on the menu, I will try it because I love going out. I mean, I love food. But yeah, you don't very often get much choice. And then I am the only vegetarian of all my friends, so we don't go to like many vegetarian restaurants because everybody else is very big meat eaters. So sometimes it's just a case of.
I'm trying to
you give what you
remember.
give.
I'm trying to remember a coffee shop from Middlehall, and you can find that. I think it's a franchise. You can go in different cities and you find it, but not in Barnsley. I can't remember, but they had great salads.
Oh yeah, I do. I love a good salad. Love salad with fruit.
Maybe I will remember it until the end, but I will tell you. But yeah, they had these amazing salads. I think we had a period when me and my wife, we ate salads. I mean, basically she ate. And it was so great. I think it's something in French or Italian. The name.
We don't like peach as well.
It's there, but it needs to come. Yeah, pizza with vegetables. I think they're supposed to have something different, but I think they have with aubergines and the other green one. Anyway,
Yeah.
but they are good.
Yeah. I know, I try not to be an awkward vegetarian because, like I say, I just don't like eating. I don't mind anybody else eating meat. I just don't like eating meat, and I haven't done from a very, very young age. So, I try to just fit in with everybody else. Or, I quite often say, could I have that, but without the meat? Like I absolutely love a Sunday dinner, which probably is quite strange from a vegetarian. Seems probably that to everybody else, the main feature of a roast dinner would be the meat, but I love having a Sunday dinner just minus meat. I know everyone would be like, but honestly, I love Yorkshire puddings. I love a bit of veggie gravy. I love mashed potato. I love roast potatoes. I love vegetables. So honestly, give me a plate of roast dinner minus the meat, which I know everybody else is like, you are absolutely bonkers. That is the best bit. But I'm very happy with that. If you go to like a pub lunch or something on a Sunday, and they like look at you like, what is wrong with this woman, she has missed the best bit off this meal, but I'm quite happy with it.
I'm happy with my wife when she's not eating meat as well.
Yeah.
Because she's putting my plate.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah, so I don't. Yeah, I don't miss it. It's not something that I force myself. It's not something that I force myself to do, because I don't enjoy eating it. So it's it's not like I'm like, oh, I love the smell of bacon. I wish I could have that. If I wanted to, I could. I just don't enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said the mushrooms. If you are vegetarian, they are the great. We have, I think that's something which you really enjoy. We have a mushroom stew. It's so good. I mean, that kind of mushroom, it's a bit expensive, but it wasn't expensive for us because we picked it from the forest. But I think you can find that kind of mushroom dried in the stores.
Yeah.
And if you make a stew with those, I mean, I like that mushroom.
This is probably why I enjoy puddings and desserts so much, because perhaps as a vegetarian, I don't get to enjoy those great flavours in my main course. That's why I can get so excited about a dessert. That's you can do more with it.
Like in my country, when before Christmas or Easter, we are doing fasting, but fasting in the sense we are eating, but not anything what it's animal origin, like eggs, milk. But they are making very good food, like sarmale, like cabbage rolls with rice and mushrooms.
Yeah.
Those are very great. I think I have a picture when I help some ladies to do 3 big pots of those kind of cabbage rolls.
Yeah.
And 2 of them, it was some no, now I have a missing word. How is the female version of a monk?
I think it's just a monk. Yeah, I can't. I don't know of another word. Oh, like a nun.
A nun, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, basically 2 of them was nuns, and I hired them to chop the vegetables, because it was like 3 big pots of 3, 4, 5. I don't know them. I think I said 7 first, but it was many. I have a picture with it, and I had a machine to cut, because that was too much to cut. Mushroom, peppers, carrots.
Yep.
But because it was, I think that moment it was before birth of Saint Mary.
Right.
Because it's the similar, and it was like a tradition. It was some people coming village to village, and they supposed to go to one monastery where it's we have icons with saints. One, it's having tears,
Right.
and they say it's a wonder. And these people are going from their village in another village, and like a tradition, we gave them food. Even they stay overnight. And where we cook, it was on my grandma house, because she have a big oven, for bread.
Yeah.
And we did sarmale.
Oh.
I think in that period I was suffering. And it was quite nice to do a good thing, a
Yeah.
good deed. In my girlfriend, in that period, I think she broke up with me.
Oh.
That's what happened.
Oh.
And I took holiday from
Yeah.
work and go to my grandma.
Yeah. Oh.
It was nice.
Yeah.
I like this one.
No, it's all been lovely, thank you.
I want to try.
Oh no, please do. I'll never eat all that. Please have it.
We have a lot of bean soups.
Right, yeah.
We have that kind for fasting, and we have that kind like daily with smoked meat. They taste different, but yeah, it was smoked meat. It was our preference. We had a soup. I think that one you will find interesting. Salad soup.
Ooh, I've never had a salad soup.
Usually it's made with Romanian bacon with fat. I think we can do without as well. But you don't put milk in it.
Yeah.
We put it's what remain when you're doing cheese
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
because it's a bit sour
Yeah.
and it tastes great. I wonder if I have
That makes
any
it really, like,
Romanian.
creamy as well.
Yeah, I wonder if I had any Romanian restaurants from here who are making that.
Oh, I don't know.
I will ask.
You need to investigate and find
Yes.
out and then go and see if it's up to standard. See if you...
Yes.
That could be that. You could go around trialing them and seeing which was the best one.
Yeah, I already said that I will do that for tripe soup.
Oh, is that a speciality as well?
Yes, it's the only part is the tripe.
Yeah, yeah.
But the rest of the soup, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's creamy, a bit sour.
Yeah.
Because it's creamy because of the Greek yogurt. And the way how the tripe it's cooked, it's very good because when you hear tripe, basically it's exactly what I said first when I had in my face.
Then you gave it a
Stomach
try.
cow.
Yeah,
I
you
will
should
not eat that. And after that, I want more.
Yeah.
After I eat, I want more. It was like a drug. And I was to a Romanian festival here in Doncaster. And it was two ladies who are making Romanian cakes in Barnsley. But I will promote them. In the future, I will bring some... because I think they have their own place where they are making the cakes.
Oh, I wonder if
in Barnsley
with the
Centre.
International Food Festival as well the other week.
Maybe it's possible.
Because in Glassworks Square, it was the big International Food Festival. I think that was a couple of weeks ago now. I think it was like mid-April
I think
time.
it's possible to
Yeah,
be there.
they may have been there. That looked really good. Sadly, I missed it, but it looked really, really good. I was away.
And they make this tripe soup. They say, do you want some tripe soup? Yes. The only thing what they did, usually we don't put the spice.
Right,
The chili in the soup, you put after. And my wife, she didn't want to take a risk to eat it. I mean, she tried. She said it's good, but too bad she have that. And had 2 portions.
At least it didn't go to waste.
Yes. For me, it was good.
Yeah, you're like, oh, what a shame you don't like it. I'll have it.
I supposed to do something else then when that happens. Do you want to have more?
I'm okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
I will keep
Thank
this
you.
one. And I will move this over.
Thank you.
Well,